welcome to the I Ching Cafe and our weekly overview for the week commencing the 21st of September 2020. So how was your last week? We were asked by the I Ching to keep still, to meditate, to stop and still the mind, to listen, and to not assume we have more experience and more understanding than we do. Trying to understand something and our vision being covered because we are going through a growth process. So how was that week for you? Well, let's have a look at this week. Now, the main overview for this week is to be ready to hold onto your hat because there's going to be a lot happening this week. And why? Because we have our dear old friend 51 Shock back to shake us up this week and bring in fresh new energy. Now, 51 Shock is the second most frequent hexagram over the last 18 months on this channel. And so clearly we are getting lots of shake-ups and shocks in our life to get us moving and out of stagnation. So this energy is a doubling of thunder trigram on the top, thunder trigram on the bottom, a ratcheting down, a doubling down of movement, energy, and a shake-up in our life. So that's why hold on to your hat. Now, this energy of shake-up, what it really tries to do is it tries to clear the air. Think about what happens after a thunderstorm. It booms and the crashes and the lightning and the flashes. And what happens after it's settled down and everything's fine the next morning, you just have this clear air. Everything's been released. All the tensions, all the static electricity, everything that's been sitting and stewing gets cleared and refreshed and energized and released. The electric storm helps to clear out anything that is static. And that is what this week is asking us to pay attention to. And as always, with these weeklies and monthlies, it's about building little signposts, little metaphors of change. And when you come across it in your week, you go, I know what that is. Okay, this is how the superior person deals with this particular thing. This is how I master this moment. So there are 3 changing lines this week. So not only do we have 51 shake-up movement energy, we also have 3 changing lines. And the more points of change or pops of change we have in the week, the more the event horizon is flicking very quickly. Every couple of days, every day and a half, boom, we've got another flow of change kicking in. So there's going to be a lot jam-packed into this week. So let's have a look at these changing lines. In the second position, the shake-up says you are shaken up by losing something. Okay, a loss of your property is how this line explains itself. So for you this week, what is the loss of property you are dealing with? This is, perhaps a client that you've lost, or a particular team member who's resigned, or literally something that you've misplaced. Maybe your phone, where all your contacts are there, you've misplaced your phone, you've lost your phone. Some piece of property, symbolic or otherwise, and there's a sense of loss about this. There's a sense, or there's a tendency or a risk of this week getting caught up in grieving over the sense that you've lost something, you've lost property. The I Ching says, as we start off this week, this changing line says, this is not the time to grieve over the loss, because you know what? What you've lost in some way, shape or form is going to come back to you. So if you've lost your phone, maybe you literally get it back or you get a replacement, whatever it might be. It might not be a physical thing, it might be something else. Whatever you feel that you've lost this week, it's okay, it's going to come back to you. The main thing is not to get your energy caught up in grieving over this. It's about actually moving on, okay? Letting it go and facing the future. Do not give energy into what you feel has been lost. So I mentioned to you last week that last week I was moving house. This week I'm now settled in the new space, and of course there is a risk of thinking back with nostalgia to what was and the past and what has left your life and the property and the space and all those things that I'm dealing with, and getting caught up in the grieving process. I've got to put that down and stay focused on where the next step is headed. And so too do you have something that you're grappling with this week. Property being lost and learning how to deal with letting it go for now. Maybe there's a time in the future where we reminisce and we look back, but this is not the week. We have to keep focused on moving forward. Our next changing line in the third position says something comes along to shake us out of a stuck place where we are stuck in our energy and to reawaken our creative energy. So this might be literally a process of someone coming along and bringing you something you need, or asking you a tough question in the moment you need it, or an event happening to get you moving, to get you out of perhaps a sleep state, getting you into your creative energy and getting the energy moving, getting you refired up and moving forward. Okay, so remember, that's our second changing line. Watch out, after we've had this loss of property issue, what is the thing that comes to shake us out of our stuck energy and brings us back into connection with our creative energy and gets us back on the path? And then the third changing line in the 5th position talks about repeated shocks, repeated shake-ups, repeated issues, repeated things coming one after the other, boom, 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 and not to lose our mind or lose our focus in the midst of this stuff happening all around us. Okay, so that particular changing line really speaks to the heart of this 51 shock hexagram, which is all about, despite all the things that are happening, all the movement, all the acceleration, all the sudden leaping forward, we have to keep our eyes focused on the purpose, the prize, the special egg we're carrying, the special thing that we are here to do in the week, and not to lose ourselves to all the change that's taking place around us. A very, very, very highly charged, like lightning and thunder, highly charged week where we have an opportunity to accelerate and clear the air and leap forward, but we just have to keep our wits about us. Okay, so maybe our learning from last week with 52 keeping still and meditating can really help us this week. And of course, I did not mention it last week, which was really silly, but there are some I Ching hexagram meditations for you on the Insight Timer app that I've created. And one in particular that's really popular is one called Flowing with Change. So maybe in the midst of all this upheaval and things being turned upside down this week for us all, some good meditation would be really useful. Right, so let's have a look at our relating hexagram, the second transforming metaphor of change that we need to focus on and pay attention to this week. And it is the hexagram 43, breakthrough. Now, this hexagram, if you look at the structure, you can see a whole lot of male lines, male, strong, active lines pushing up from the bottom. And we have one little female passive line at the top that's in the 6th position. It's leaving the hexagram. So this hexagram is all about being decisive, making a decision, and parting with what we no longer want, parting with the past and moving forward. The opportunity to make a breakthrough, pushing through that last obstacle in our path, is what we're being asked to pay attention to. And of course, that requires us to be decisive and focused and energized and on a mission to move forward. So this is a very interesting week where lots is going to happen. We've got lots of shocks and lots of upheaval and lots of movement and lots of opportunity. Boom, boom, boom. 3 changing lines are going to keep us really busy this week. And of course, part of this process of accelerating is the opportunity to make the breakthrough, to make the decision to part with the past, to part which is no longer of your highest, to part with negativity. Be decisive, make the decision, and go for it. A big week where lots of energy is required. So thank heavens we had Keeping Still last week to get us ready for this very busy week that lies ahead. If you've not yet done so, please subscribe to the channel. And of course, we'll see you on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for our daily I Ching stories. And of course, our monthly I Ching giveaway. Below this episode, you'll find a link that gives you access to the Insight Timer app meditations, the podcast version of the channel, the YouTube version if you're using the podcast, and the link where you can enter in your question for the I Ching every month. And there's a lucky winner who gets their personal question interpreted, and I work with that. So please go and enter. It is an absolute show of generosity for you to enter your question, and I really do appreciate that. Wishing you an amazing, impactful week where you look back at the end of the week and say, wow, we really leapt forward there, didn't we? We really made progress, and what's more, we kept our head clear, we kept our mind in focus, and we stayed true to what we are here to do this week. See you soon.